Okay, this is once again to say hello to you all. Okay, this is a reading passage, and you'll have to read this passage and do and what to read and what to do. This is the main, let's say, purpose of this video. So this type of paragraphs may be given. Okay, so these paragraphs belong to all walks of life, not just one particular thing, science, history, and many other things. Okay. Now see what it is. You should spend about 20 minutes on questions 1 to 13, which are based on reading passages 1 below. Okay. Could urban engineers learn from dance? See, very strange. Paragraph A. Remember that this paragraph is given A, B, C, D, and it will give you an idea. I will remind you later that the reference to a question usually paragraph A, B, C, D, making selection of that. What paragraph relates to what? Okay, A. The way we travel around cities has a major impact on whether they are sustainable. Transportation is estimated to account for 30% of energy consumption in most of the world's most developed nations. So, lowering the need for energy using vehicles is essential for decreasing the environmental impact of mobility. But as more and more people move into cities, it is important to think about other kinds of sustainable travel too. The ways we travel affect our physical and mental health, our social lives, our access to work and culture, and the air we breathe. Engineers are tasked with changing how we travel around cities through urban design, but the engineering industry still works on assumptions that led to the creation of the energy consuming transport system we have now. The emphasis placed solely on efficiency, speed, and quantitative data. We need radical changes to make it healthier, more enjoyable, and less environmentally damaging to travel around cities. So remember what is said in this paragraph. Paragraph B. Dance slide. Dance might hold some of the answers, and that is not to suggest everyone should dance their way to work. However healthy and happy it might make us, but rather that the teachings techniques used by choreographers to experiment with the design movement in a dance could provide engineers with the tools to stimulate new ideas in city making. Richard Sennett, an influential urbanist and sociologist who has transformed ideas about the way cities are made, argues that urban design has suffered from a separation between mind and body since the introduction of the architectural blueprint. In paragraph C, we read, whereas medieval builders improved and adapted construction through their in intimate knowledge of materials and the personal experience of the conditions on a site. Building designs are now conceived and stored in media technologies that detach the designer from the physical and the social realities they are creating. While the design practices created by these new technologies are essential for managing the technical complexity of the modern city, they have the drawback of simplifying reality in a process. Paragraph D. To illustrate, Senate discusses the Peachtree Center in Atlanta, USA, a development typical of the modernist approach to urban planning prevalent in the 1970s. Peachtree created a grid of trees and towers intended as a new pedestrian-friendly downtown for Atlanta. According to Senate, this failed because its designers had invested too much faith in a computer-aided design to tell them how it would operate. They failed to take into account that purpose-built street cafes could not operate in the hot sun without the protective awnings common in older buildings and would need energy-consuming air conditioning instead, or that its giant car park would free so unwelcoming that would feel so unwelcoming that it would put people off getting out of their cars. What seems entirely predictable and controllable on screen has unexpected results when translated into reality. Here you see paragraph E says, the same is true in transport engineering, which uses models to predict and shape the way people are moving through the city. Again, these models are necessary, but they are built on a specific world views in which certain forms of efficiency and safety are considered and other experiences of the city ignored. Designs that seem logical in models appear computer intuitive in the actual experience of the users. The guard rails that will be familiar to anyone who has attempted to cross a British road, for example, um, were an engineering solution to pedestrian safety based on models that prior, prioritize, prioritize the smooth flow of traffic. On wide major roads, they often guide pedestrians to specific crossing points and slow down their progress across the road by using staggered access point to divide the crossing into two, one for each carriageway. In doing so, they make crossings feel longer, introducing a psychological barriers greatly impacting those that are least mobile and encouraging others to make dangerous crossings to get around the guard rails. These barriers don't just make it harder to cross the road, they divide communities and decrease opportunities for healthy transport. As a result, many are now being removed, causing disruption, cost, and waste. Paragraph F. If their designers had had the tools to think with their bodies like dancers and imagine how these barriers would feel, and there might have been a better solution in order to bring about fundamental changes and to the ways we use our cities. Engineering will need to develop a richer understanding of why people move in certain ways and how this movement affects them. Choreography may not seem an obvious choice for tackling this problem, yet it shares with engineering the aim of designing patterns of movement within limitations of space. It is an art from developed almost entirely by trying out ideas with the body and gaining instant feedback on how the results feel. Choreographers have deep understanding of the psychological, aesthetic, and the physical implications of different ways of moving. Paragraph G. Observing the choreographer Wayne McGregor, cognitive scientist, and David Kirsch described how he thinks with the body. Chris argues that by using the body to simulate outcomes, McGregor is able to imagine solutions that would not be possible using purely abstract thought. This kind of physical knowledge is valued in many areas of expertise, um, but currently has no place in formal engineering design processes. Our suggested method for transport engineers is to improve design solutions and get instant feedback about how they would work from their own experience of them or model designs at full scale in the way choreographers experiment with groups of dancers. Above all, perhaps they might learn to design for emotional as well as functional effects. So this was the reading paragraph. And now let's go to the ED test and see what we can do with it. This is about the reading. See, I have read this all. Come, dear. Okay, now questions 1 to 6. Okay, reading passage 1 has 7 paragraphs A to G. I must tell you that every section reading paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, and 1 paragraph after reading, you would have to do on the, what I should say, um, you will have to do 12 to 15 tasks in one section, okay, one paragraph, you see. So in the beginning, you will do 1 to 6. You see, reading passage 1 has 7 paragraphs A to G. I told you in the beginning that you should keep in mind what the paragraph says what. So it's once again a kind of matching, okay? So you will have to match A, B, C, D, D, E, or that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and with these statements. See, a reference to an appealing way of using dance that the writer is not proposing. So in the paragraph B. Then an example of contrast between past and present approaches to buildings You'll find this in paragraph C. Yes, here we are. And mention of an objective of both dance and engineering. This information you'll find in paragraph F. Reference to an unforeseen problem arising from ignoring the climate. This was mentioned in refers to paragraph D. Why some measures intended to help people are being reserved. This is in paragraph E. Reference to how transport has an impact on human lives. This is mentioned in paragraph A. Now we come to questions 7 to 13 and complete the summary below. Choose one word only from the passage for each answer. As guardrails. Guardrails. Okay, here I wish to strike a line. Okay, where it is. This one. Okay. And the color should be blue. Okay. Done. Dry line on 8. Okay. Quad 8 as well. 8, 9. I don't want to see it. This one, 11, 12, 13. So this may be a problem later when I'm doing that. So we need to cut them at the beginning. Okay. So now come to text. We need to write text here. Come text. Okay, here it is. So guardrails were introduced on British roads to improve the safety. Then we say of pedestrians while ensuring that the movement of traffic is not disrupted. Pedestrians are led to access points and encouraged to cross one carriageway at a time. One carriageway at a time. An unintended effect is to create psychological difficulties in crossing the road, particularly for less mobile people. Less mobile people, then you can see another result is that some people cross the road in a dangerous way. The guardrails separate healthy communities. Um, uh, Communities, COMMUNITIES, separate communities and make it more difficult to introduce forms of transport that are healthy. Okay, so this is, I believe, end of the exercise on passage one, and I hope you should do it in the successfully in the beginning. You should take help from the book to fill in. First of all, you need to know what to do. It's a fill in the blanks, and in the first part we had matching paragraphs. We'll see this one to match B, this one to match C. It seems to be a bit difficult, but if you make practice, if you already know what to do, then you will be well prepared for that. Good luck. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time. Goodbye. With the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and press the bell button to get fresh from us. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.